Hello, I'm Matt Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Jay Pelton. I'm here to talk today about the latest Everton news as we prepare to come off the international break. Feels like it's gone on for an absolute age. This, it really does. Obviously, you know, only a couple of weeks ago that we were in Goodison watching the Newcastle game, and everyone's kind of looking forward to the break, get some players back fit. I think some players need a bit of a rest as well. So it's been a good couple of weeks, and obviously plenty of news has sort of built up in that time, mainly concerning Juventus. By the looks of things, they're looking at signing Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the end of his contract. Obviously, they're engaging in cost-cutting measures over there, as obviously most clubs are at the minute. And I think these bigger clubs are getting better and a bit savvier in the market when it comes to landing freebies. Obviously, there's a number of clubs which have kind of done this over the past few seasons and building teams out of players now to play transfer fees for. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to be enticing for a lot of clubs. If he's coming in, he would obviously need a bit more money because he's not signing for an actual fee. There'll be sign-on fees, agent fees and all that. But you're going to get a player there who's probably a £20-25 million footballer for free, assuming he doesn't commit his future to Everton, which looks less and less likely pretty much every day that he doesn't sign that deal, which is supposedly on the table. I wouldn't actually be surprised to see him go to a Juventus or a team where he's probably not quite that level, but he's just good cover for them. And say it's not exactly a case of going there and being the main man or anything. Juve probably do need a striker. I'm not sure he massive fancies Dusan Vlahovic, but I don't think he'd be the man. I think even less better would be the man, but he's being linked to a move there in January. We actually ran a poll where 82% of people said they'd move better on in January, which is interesting, which obviously I understand, the links there in terms of he played in Italy, done well there for Udinese, and he knows that league, and I think he probably would do better there, obviously, because he's been in England. He's not really fit in, he's not had many chances to get him behind teams, and that kind of clumsy, chaotic style we've seen a few players have in the Premier League. It doesn't quite work, I don't think. I just think that the defenders are too good here and they can kind of react to that. And while he is a physically very good player, I think he can be matched by a lot of the defences in this country. So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, I think if an option comes up, especially for us to get some money back off him, Kevin Fowler obviously wasn't working with much money when he came in. He came in for a very small fee up front, and it was a case that Udinese were happy for us to pay it over a couple of years. So let's see what happens there. But yeah, I would also move him on if the option becomes available. In some slightly better news, or slightly less kind of, in terms of more immediate news rather, Iliman Ndiaye went off injured in Senegal's first game of the international window, but he has come off the bench today in their win over Malawi just before the hour mark. So he's played 40-odd minutes there, which is obviously good. Worrying when you saw him go off, but no one really seemed too concerned by it. And obviously, if he wasn't going to be fit, I'm sure he wouldn't play the second game now. So good to see him back, and hopefully that's a good sign for us. In less good news in terms of injuries, James Garner supposedly picked up a back injury. He's obviously had a few injuries since he's been in. I think he had a back injury when he actually signed, and it is a little bit of a worry, especially when you're a player who comes into the team whenever you're fit. It's not like he's, a Jack Harrison or Nathan Patterson, who we can probably bring in and out the side, ease him in a little bit. I think he kind of gets in the first 11 whenever he's fit, or it be right back or in centre mid. He was terrific in that game against Newcastle, so it'd be a real shame if he's out for another period of time. He'd be my starting right back at the minute based on how he's played there in his couple of games so far this season. So let's hope that's only precautionary and that we can get him back on the pitch sooner rather than later. And just finally on some potential incoming news, Everton being linked with centre-back Joyce-Kim Dawa from Steaua Bucharest. Not a player I'm particularly familiar with, not a club I'm hugely familiar with either. He's 28 years old, has played a few games from this season. I've played in the Europa League with them as well. Centre-back, I mean, in terms of, do we need a centre-back right now? So we've got Tarkowski, we've got Bramford, we've got O'Brien there, obviously Keane's playing too at the minute. I'm not sure this is a position we necessarily need to strengthen. Players obviously probably beginning to exit his prime now as well, so it'll be interesting to see whether that happens. But I think the last centre-back I turned my nose up at from a league that was outside the sort of top 5, 7, 8 leagues in Europe was probably Kim Min-jae. He was at Fenerbahce at the time, and I thought this season seems quite bizarre. Why would we be going after him? He then went to Napoli and he was obviously fantastic. Gone to Bayern, struggled a bit there, but clearly a very, very good player and one we would have really liked. I think it's always interesting to see us linked to players from kind of off the beaten track, and we'll have to obviously see what happens with that. But I think a centre-back is probably not the first on my priority list. Let's see how that progresses as we get towards January. But let me know down below your thoughts on the Calvert-Lewin and Beto news. And let me know your thoughts on Joyce Dawa and whether you've seen anything of him. Let me know down below. So I'll speak to you next time, and thank you. Nice one.